Hi there! This month we are going to talk about how to have an intimate relationship with the Lord. That's something that we all want, but I get letters all the time from people saying, I try to spend time with God, but don't feel like I'm getting very far. I don't really hear Him. I understand. I completely understand. How do you change a person from being insecure, inferior, fear of rejection, passive, all these negative things? Sounds like I'm describing myself, but how do you change a person with all those negative traits? I can tell you firsthand, it's through an intimate relationship with God. Spending time with God is the number one thing that will bring the greatest change in every area of your life. Now, those are bold statements to say every area of your life, but I'm telling you, going to church, fasting, taking communion, hanging around godly people, hearing the word consistently, all of those are vital to bring in change in your life, but nothing replaces that one-on-one quality time with just you and God, nobody else. And I speak from experience. If you were to ask me what is the number one thing that's changed you from being insecure or being passive or having that fear of rejection, whatever it is, the number one thing would have to be my relationship with God. That is the number one thing. Isn't that amazing? And isn't it interesting how spending time with God is the number one thing that sure seems to go when we get busy? It's the very thing that Satan tries to prevent you from doing, spending time with God. And it's not a coincidence. He knows that your time with the Lord is the most valuable thing that you could ever do in your life. It is the most valuable thing that you could ever do. And you think about it. You could say, well, I'm going to set a goal to spend 15 minutes a day with the Lord. And you're serious about it, you're committed, and the next morning alarm goes off and you oversleep. You keep snoozing it and you oversleep. Or you say, I'm going to spend 15 minutes with God, and you get up, you go in that other room, and while you're in there, you fall asleep. You're just bored, you can't keep your eyes open. Or let's say you're committed, you're going to spend those 15 minutes with the Lord. You go in another room one morning by yourself, but as soon as you walk in there, you see how messy it is, and you start cleaning that room, you start organizing things. Next thing you know, time's up, got to get ready for work, didn't have time to pray. So I'll do it again tomorrow. Or let's say there's a big mirror in there. I've had this happen. There's a mirror, and you keep looking at yourself, you keep fixing your hair, separating your eyelashes, just being distracted. Well, that's what Satan wants, is he wants you to be distracted. That's his goal, distract you from spending time with God. He doesn't want you to get to a place where you're comfortable with God, where you open up to God. He knows that when you spend time with the Lord, not only does the Bible say that God's love will cast fear out of your life, but he knows that. Satan knows that. And he knows that if you're insecure, if you're inferior, if you have just a lot of fear in your life, the closer you get to God, the more time you spend with Him, all of that is going to be driven out of your life. He knows that the more time you spend with God, you're going to have peace in your mind. And He doesn't want that. He wants you to be tormented. He wants you confused. He wants you filled with anxiety about life. He wants you stressed out, so hopefully it'll affect your body and then you'll get sick. That's just how Satan works. So he does everything in his power to steal your time with God. He tries to keep you busy. The phone could ring, and that one phone call takes 20 minutes, and there goes your time with God. Or you get up to spend time with God, and the baby starts crying. Now you got to go take care of the baby. Whatever it is, Satan knows that your time with God is the number one most valuable thing you could ever do in your life. And I want you to realize that spending time with God, it does not have to be 3 hours praying over the peace of Jerusalem. You can spend 10 minutes with God, and it can set the whole course of your day. You could spend 5 minutes, just you and God, 5 minutes, and it will bring change in your life. This is something I read from John Maxwell that I love, and it's called The Value of Time. He said, to know the value of 1 year, ask the student who failed the final exam. To know the value of 1 month, ask the mother of a premature baby. To know the value of 1 week, ask the editor of a weekly magazine. To know the value of 1 day, ask the wage earner who has 6 children. To know the value of 1 hour, ask the lovers who are waiting to meet. To know the value of 1 minute, ask the person who missed their plane. To know the value of 1 second, ask the person who survived the accident. To know the value of 1 millisecond, ask the Olympic silver medalist. In other words, every minute counts. Every minute that you spend just talking to the Lord, it counts. It matters. Don't say to yourself, I've only got 5 minutes, just forget it, I'll do it tomorrow. 5 minutes could save your life. It could heal your heart. It could bring peace to your mind. 5 minutes counts. So don't let other people make you feel condemned or make you feel like you're not as holy as they are because they're spending 2 hours every morning on their knees. I remember one time me and this girl were hosting a baby shower together, and she's one of those types that, she's a godly woman and she's really admirable. She's really amazing. But we're talking the morning of the shower, and she said, yeah, I spent a good hour praying over the baby shower today. I thought, what do you pray? For an hour, I've prayed that people would have cake at the shower. But, what else do you pray? That things will go good, everybody get along, that the woman who's pregnant will feel blessed. But I can't even think of enough things to say in an hour. But, you can let other people condemn you just because of the time they spend with God. Well, don't let them. If you can commit to 10 minutes a day, then do it. Because I've seen in my own life that consistency is the key to change in every area of your life. If you can consistently spend time with God 10 minutes a day, then do it. But do it the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And the more you do it, you will see change in your life. It won't show up automatically. You might be bored. You might just feel like you're saying the same things over and over. But spend consistent time with God. I like to compare time with God to working out. You work out for 3 weeks, you may not see change in your life. But you do it again and again and again, and you go against how you feel, and you do what you know is right. And eventually, change will show up in your body. It's the same with prayer. The more time you spend with God, change will begin to show up on the inside of you, and then it's going to show up in your life, all around you. So this whole month, I want to talk about developing your own personal, intimate relationship with God. We're going to talk about what to do in your prayer time, how to get comfortable with God. So I'm just believing this whole month, you're going to draw closer to Him every single day. So I want to challenge you this week. Start with a plan that you can commit to. If it's 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, whatever it is, do it at the same time every day. That's how you can get consistent. But commit to spending time with God because He is just standing there waiting with open arms to hear from you. So I'll see you next week as we continue this study.